Okay. Ayan, may nanalo na. Ano daw? Ang sagot ay...
Ano daw? O reveal.
Reveal natin what's
Face
inside the
mask
bag.
reveal.
Okay na.
Face mask reveal.
Mascot reveal.
Ano daw?
Labas!
Ano daw?
Yes!
Yay!
Good. Congratulations to Nathan Avery. Yan.
Ayan.
Hindi po pwede tinidor, kailangan po English. Ay,
Ano ba English?
hindi pala.
Congratulations.
Anyway, congratulations, no? Congratulations sa'yo dahil nanalo ka na.
300 pesos worth of GCash. So again, kindly contact or kindly message Mr. Alex Doroja, ang pinakamaganda po sa third floor na talagang pinupuntahan po ng mga estudyante. No? Ayan.
Make sure that the number you have listed on the ticket is accurate.
Yes.
Yung ay matawagan ng ating technical team. So once again, congratulations sa mga nanalo ng scholarship grant, GCash, and of course, yung ating tablet.
At saka kung meron kayong classmate na nanalo na yung nanonood at wala ngayon, just sabihin niyo sa kanila so that ma-reach nila yung si Mr. Alex Doroja. Okay? So for our last, what's in the box? Ay, ang bigat. Hindi ba kalong?
Grabe, may silencer. What's inside the box? Walang clue.
Ano yan? Okay.
Ayun.
Mag-reveal pa kaaga.
Nako, hindi pwedeng basta-basta kalugin.
Parang kahapon lang, tumapon yung sauce. Ay,
Ang clumsy mo kasi.
Ay.
Bawal kalugin, baka magbayad sa Rain's Place.
oo nga. Ayan,
Ganun
nandito,
lang.
yun yung clue. Nandito yan kasama, gamit na kasama sa Rain's Place.
Kailangan mo kapag ikaw ay naiinitan.
Ayan, presto shout out. Maraming salamat dahil kahit madalian, tinulungan mo kami. And kay Brother Joey, thank you din for the help and the support no sa ginawa po natin for this Trimex Youth Summit. Sige, Sir Rod, go!
Go, wala pa rin. Nako, lahat yata wala nag-iinit.
Oo nga. Ayan.
Wala nangangailangan
Wala ka
nito.
nangangailangan nito.
My God.
Kasi gastos yata ito.
But anyway, congratulations to all the winners of our scholarship, no? Grabe.
Sabi ni Yoshi, mangkok. Mangkok? Talaga, mangkok ba ito?
Kasya sa pizza, bongga.
Sabi po ni Marisol de Mata, wallet? No. Pentel pen, hindi din po.
Yes, konting-konting oras na lang at mag-uumpisa na talaga ang Trimex
Yes.
Summit 2021.
Totoo.
Kaya naman, kailangan, 2022, kaya naman kailangan keep on sharing this FB Live.
Okay. So again, we want to thank Dr. Pendon. Thank you very much for your congratulatory message. Nakita po namin sa aming comment section. Thank you for encouraging your students. No?
Correct. At dahil dyan, naka 1,000 viewers na tayo.
Ayan, sabi po ni Miss Velia, portable fan. Hindi po.
1K share pala.
Okay.
1,000 shares? Grabe.
So, according to Dr. Pendon, thank you daw po PNC, CBAA students for joining the event. Ayan. So again, no, yung sports po natin, sports program is, we are in the continuous tryouts and the one-day league will happen on the succeeding days. Kindly contact Coach Ed Sosa for more information. Sige, Sir Rod, kalog-kalog.
Yes, what's inside the box? Kailangan mo to para mapindot.
Yan, yun.
Sa tuwing ikaw ay naiinitan.
Kailangan daw gamitin at pindutin habang ikaw ay init na init.
Grabe naman yung clue, pabigay na.
Bag daw. Napipindot ba ang bag?
Ayun, we have a winner.
Okay.
Congratulations to Dayan Crystalline Arese because
Ayan.
it's
remote. Remote control ng aircon po dito sa Rain's Place.
yan, remote ng aircon. Ayan, hindi namin masyadong kinalog. Baka mabasa.
Ayan, tama naman. May sharer badge siya at meron pa siya ang dami niya. Nakakatuwa naman.
Correct.
Ayan. Very good. So salamat po sa nag-participate ng atin pong mga games and raffle. And sabi nga ni Sir Rod, papunta pa lang po tayo sa exciting part.
Alright, so without further ado, let's welcome Trimex Summit Youth 2022.
Okay!
Yan. Happy Sunday afternoon, everyone. And good afternoon, Trimexians. At good afternoon sa lahat ng mga nanonood sa atin this afternoon. I'm Bernadette Pacala, one of the faculty in Trimex Colleges. And I'm one of your co-hosts this afternoon. I'm one of your hosts this afternoon. And I'll be joined by my debonair partner here. Tony, kamusta?
Hi, good afternoon everyone. Good afternoon Trimexians and good afternoon sa lahat ng mga nanonood sa atin this afternoon. I'm Anthony Wilfred Basmayor. I'm one of your faculty here in Trimex Colleges and yes, I will be co-hosting this event with Ma'am Bennett. Ma'am Bennett, very fresh pa tayo from our event last April 30th. Nako, miss na miss ko kayo agad.
Yes, oo nga, Sir Tony, no? And speaking of that, let us not forget to thank everyone who supported, no? Who joined our very successful Rewind concert
Mhm.
last April 30, 2022. And we hope na sa pamamagitan ng Rewind concert na yan, no, ay nabawasan ng mga stress at nakapag-enjoy hindi lang ang mga Trimexians, pati na ang buong Binyan at ang mga schools, no, and viewers na sumuporta sa atin.
I'm sure they are. Sobrang saya talaga nung event na yon, 'di ba? Very, very enjoy. Lahat ng taong pumunta doon. And alam nyo guys, patikim pa lang yon nung saya dito sa Trimex Colleges because today, ang pinakaabangan nating event and this is Trimex Youth Summit 2022.
Yes, and to formally start our program, we will have an invocation followed by the singing of the Philippine National Anthem and an opening remarks to be given by Dr. Rito A. Camigla Jr., Vice President for Academics and Student Services of Trimex Colleges.
Panginoon ko, hanap-hanap ka ng puso. Hiling mo'y isang awit Panginoon ko, hanap-hanap ka ng puso. Hiling mo'y isang awit paghilom. Ang baling ng aking iba ay sa'yo. Huwag nawang namamayaang masiklayo. Ikaw ang mundong hininga ng buhay. Dulot mo'y kapayapaan, pag-ibig. Panginoon ko, hanap-hanap ka ng puso. Hiling mo'y isang awit paghilom. Ako'y akayin sa daang matuwid. Huwag nawang maging dulutang mabighani. Sa panandalian at huwag nalilang. Ikaw ang aking tanging tagapagligtas. Panginoon ko, hanap-hanap ka ng puso. Hiling mo'y isang awit paghilom. Sikwa sa aking kalooban yung basta paupangin ang bukso ng kanuntunan. Yakapin ang buong ibig yung anak ng mayakap ng bayan mong ibig. Panginoon ko, halapan ng kalang puso, hingin ko'y isang pangin, Panginoon. Bayang magiliw, pero sa silanganan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, buyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, kita masisingil, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bakaw, may nilagang tulaw, sa paglayang ang isang ng matawag mo'y tagumpay na natitigil. Ang bituin ng araw niya kailanman ay makikinig. Upang ang araw ng maraming konsentang uyayangin sa likod. Aming ligaya na parang may masakit at namatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to welcome you all to the Youth Summit. This is the perfect time to step one level higher as we reimagine the countless opportunities brought about by this ever-changing world. Today, we will recognize as we appreciate the important role of the youth and their contributions to society. I would like to take this opportunity to thank our host for today, Mr. Sam YG. Also, I would like to commend the men and women of the College of Business and Accountancy for their efforts in making this momentous event a reality. Thank you. Job well done.
Ayun nga, good afternoon everyone muli. Magandang hapon sa lahat ng mga kasama natin ngayong araw na ito. And thank you so much, Doc Boyet, for opening the program. And now, we now transition to the more important parts of our program. Ayan, I think nagkaroon ng technical difficulty.
Yes, a little technical difficulty which is common, no? As
Oo.
usual, no? Diyan matetest kung gaano ka-loyal ang ating mga Trimexian students na mag-i-stay pa din sa line kahit na may mga
Oo.
technical difficulty.
Kahit anong pagdaanan,
Yes.
dapat nandyan ka.
Lagi kayong nandyan at maaasahan. And yeah,
Totoo.
going back, Sir Tony,
I think we
no?
were discussing about the forums that we will
Forums.
have this afternoon, no?
Correct.
And
As
the
by-
first forum, as we mentioned, was
It's about leadership. At kailangan to, lalo na ng mga future Trimexian natin, no? Yung mga students and even all our viewers.
totoo. And I just want to add to that na the mga tinitrain nating mga estudyante dito sa Trimex are not just students
Yes.
na tingin natin ay graduate eventually, but
Yes.
we are training future leaders, not just of the industry, but also of our country, syempre.
Especially meron tayong weekend program, education program, Sir Tony,
Oo.
na ang mga estudyante natin ay working na lahat.
Oh,
Diba?
at ito yung mga estudyante natin na kahit nagtatrabaho na, ay gusto pa ding magpursige at
Ng
makatapos. diba?
Pag-aaral, diba? Yan. So,
Totoo.
continuous learning, Kaizen mindset.
Totoo. At
Yan.
kahit ang dami nga nilang pinagdadaanan, di ba? Yun yung topic ng second forum natin this afternoon, which is mental health.
Yes, mental health. Importante rin to, no? Lalo na nitong nag-pandemic, Sir Tony,
Mhm.
ang daming na-depress, 'di ba? Ang daming nagkaroon ng anxiety kasi hindi alam yung security, no? What's gonna
Totoo.
happen. Pero since endemic na, ayan, we're happy
Mhm.
that unti-unti nakakabalik na tayo to new normal.
Totoo. Ang daming pagbabago, no? Hindi lang nung mga nakaraang taon, lalo na ngayon, sobrang daming pagbabago this 2022.
Agree. And syempre, Sir Tony, hindi mawawala ang highlight ng ating Youth Summit, which is topic about business,
Oo.
entrepreneurship.
Right? Kasi most of our students are business-minded and most of them are business majors. And I think kahit sino pa dyan na viewer natin would understand and would agree with us na business is a very important part of nation building. And I think matututunan natin ang madaming bagay dito sa third forum na to.
Correct. So sabi nga, 'di ba? Actually, yun daw pagpapalaki sa atin na mag-aral kang mabuti para maging maganda ang future mo. It's
Aha.
not just mag-aral mabuti. Kailangan talagang mag-business ka, maging
Totoo.
entrepreneur ka. And of course, Sir Tony, latter part ng ating Youth Summit is we have invited someone, no, who will synthesize, who will help us process and synthesize yung all three topics natin
Mhm.
today. Yan.
Totoo. And I think, in-introduce na siya kanina ng pre-program. I think may nanalo na sa comment section. And siya ay ang nag-iisang
Sino ba
Sam
yun?
YG.
O, di ba may panalo ka agad? Ayan. Alright, so loaded na loaded ang ating afternoon, di ba? Similar to our very first summit, meron
Mhm.
tayong celebrity host na kasama ngayong afternoon. So it's not just us na makakasama nyo all throughout the program. So I think, Sir Tony, nasabi mo kanina na release na natin, na-disclose na natin,
Oo.
magpapahula pa sana tayo, no? So let's welcome once again, Sam YG!
Hi guys! Good
Hi,
afternoon.
Sam.
Of course, everybody from Trimex, everybody joining us. We are live and alive. Happy to be back. Tony and Miss Bennett, kamusta naman kayo?
We're good, no? We're also excited to have you once again na makasama ka uli namin kahit via
Mhm.
Zoom.
Hopefully every year na to, Sam.
Yes,
Oo,
consistent
and
na.
tsaka exciting topics natin. Very, very interesting topics we have
Right.
in store for everyone. I'm sure marami tayong matutunan today. At sa mga speakers natin, naku, ang lulupit.
Yes. So for everyone's information, guys, no, lalo na nung mga nakaka-join lang sa Trimex ngayon, si Sam YG din ang ating host ng Youth
Mhm.
Business Summit ng Trimex Colleges, no? Ayan, so consistent. So sana next year, Sam, ikaw ulit.
Oo nga, suki, di ba? Happy to, of course, always host for you guys at discuss these very relevant topics.
Yes, I'm sure everyone's excited to hear our first forum on leadership, and that's entitled Strategic Leadership at a Glance.
Whoa,
All right, I think we're pretty much good to go. Our guests are here. Nakikita nyo naman sa inyo mga screen. So, our first topic is all about leadership, no? What makes a leader, especially now, no, na we went through a pandemic. With the current hybrid systems in schools, sa mga iba't ibang industriya, we have invited guests who will help dissect our topic and hopefully share their experiences and insights. So, ladies and gentlemen, pakilala natin ang ating distinguished guests, starting with a strategic and leadership coach, Coach Tony Miranda. Coach, hello.
Hello, Sam. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me here. I'm Tony Miranda of Radiance Image Consultancy.
Ayun, Coach Tony, thank you
Yeah.
so much. Excited to hear paano ba namin ma-improve mga image namin, no? Kahit ganito yung mga mukha namin, no? Of course, we also have leadership speaker and corporate trainer Marlon Molmisa.
Hello, hello. Hi, Sam and Vince and Tony. My name is Marlon. I'm from Ascend Leadership and Consulting Corporation.
And thank you so much. Of course, a very good friend of mine. He is behind When in Manila. I'm sure you guys have seen it on Facebook, on Instagram. We have Vince Golanco. Papi Vince, kamusta? Papi Vince, I think we have to make sure your mic is working.
Sorry, hello.
Ayun, perfect. There we go.
Excited to be here. Hi, everyone.
Ayun, of course, very, very special guests we have. Okay, simulan na natin yung discussion. I'm sure a lot of people are curious to find out. No? Did you aspire to be a leader? I mean, para maging leader, ito ba naging goal nyo? Bata pa lang kayo, gusto nyo maging leader na? And anong mga path na ginawa nyo, or what path did you take to get to where you are today?
Ladies
I
first.
guess, Coach Tony, you
Sige,
can start.
sige. Ladies first. Well, initially, it was something that I aspired because I look up to them. Like, it started like with leaders of organization, leaders of parents na nakita kong mga boss, until I encountered this concept and truth that everyone is a leader already. That the moment you speak to another person, you already have a platform to lead them positively or negatively. So if you want to aspire leading them positively, then that's the time you do the groundworks. Wherein I learned that I have to have a vision first. I need to understand who am I as a leader, or that aspiring leader, because I'm about to lead them positively or negatively. So I need to be clear who I am as a person and what are the values that I consider to be my leadership values, as well as vision. Sam, before yung vision, Vince and Marlon, hindi ko akala ko pang company lang yon. So now I realized that a leader needs to have a vision, and I think those are the things that help me understand what to focus on and what to say no to, because as a leader, there are also a lot of distractions. So I think that's how I was able to capture or maybe snap or grab the opportunity when the actual labeled leadership opportunity came.
Ayun. All right, Sir Marlon. Let's talk about being a leader.
I agree with Tony. No, to be honest, I was a timid boy when I was young. I was always the least in the class. Parang out of 40 students, parang nasa 40 ako or 39. And I thought parang it's just like wala akong future. And I think someone who told me, a mentor of mine, sabi niya that there are two kinds of leaders lang. Sabi, there's one is a bad leader and a good leader. And sabi ko, bakit ganon? And sinabi niya sa akin is that if you want to be a bad leader, do nothing, sabi niya. Just, magpaanod ka lang, go with the flow. But until, I realized that if the more that I want to become successful in life, the more that I need to become a leader. Because again, leadership is about influence. So medyo may ganong transformation. Then along the way, I realized that, leadership is not just about influence. It is also about using your influence to serve other people. So hanggang na-transform na siya ng ganon, and I realized that, parang in-aspire ko na maging leader later on. Noong una, hindi. Pero later on, na in-aspire ko na rin maging leader. But the end goal is not to be influential, not to have the titles, not to have all of this, yung perks of being a leader, but actually giving voice to the voiceless and also helping people to the best of my capacity with by using my influence. So, ayun, later on, ayun po ang aking journey as a leader.
Ang ganda, no? Talagang, I mean, I like what you said, no, about being a leader, no? Pwede kang good leader or bad leader, diba? It's a pag leader, hindi always necessarily good, and it really depends on the path you take, no, in leading your people. How about you, Vince?
For me as well, I didn't really aspire, quote unquote, or know even what a leader really was when I was younger. For me, it was just I liked finding smarter ways, faster, easier ways to do things, more effective, efficient ways to do things. And slowly, I guess from there, in developing a new way to do things, I sort of became a first and I trained people, I advised people, I mentored people, and sort of, I guess that's where I slowly learned to become somewhat of a leader. But if anything, if for leadership, the one thing I did learn is that, and this is something my mentors told me as well, is that the true role of a leader is to create more leaders. So if you are a leader, you are training new people, you're advising, you are mentoring, you're creating the next generation of leaders who will hopefully also lead by example and teach the things that they learned, hopefully from you.
Ayun, very, very well said. Let's talk about communication, no, between your leaders and employees. How do you encourage, I'm going to ask this to Coach Tony, no? How do you encourage honest and open employee dialogue?
Well, first, it's not easy. I'm sure all of you will agree that we also try to understand them. You just have to create that culture of trust. Let them see that you can be trusted, and then be vulnerable as well. And then encourage them by listening first. Active listening will make them feel comfortable that you are interested in them. Because before, it's really more of, there's this temptation to always be interested, but when you listen to them and you make time to listen to them, acknowledge that yes, they deserve to be listened to, and then you also share your stories. Then by making time and making sure that they feel that you are interested in them, I believe that will encourage them to somehow start with a little cuento, a little story. Then afterwards, you also share with them with openness and vulnerability. And then it's really a two-way thing. And once they see that, oh, she also has challenges that I can, it's really more of
relatable.
Relatable, no, na hindi na you didn't reach that far or became a leader without really experiencing challenges. And then they can relate, and eventually, like you sinabi nga ni Marlon, the way we influence them, it's more of the inspiring way that makes them also aspire to become a leader in a way that is not really like it's a burden, na nakakatakot, na ang dami mong papakisamahan. They will see that it's a natural thing happening once you are. First, you need to be trusting yourself as well. Kasi di ba, pag sometimes when we talk some with others, sometimes we can't help but also doubt our leadership. So we also encourage, we also encourage them with this normal conversation, mga regular topic that they feel they can discuss with you. And they don't need to choose really a best friend to discuss that. And one of the examples are, can they actually discuss things that they want to comment on? Example, systems improvement, day-to-day complaints that they need to open up with you. Na when they see that you are listening and then you agree first, then at the same time put them in a place where they can also see different perspective. I believe if that is being done every day and created as a culture, slowly, well, they always say slowly and surely, you get there to that point that they are also open and comfortable. Sometimes they're open but not comfortable. So
kasi normally, Coach Tony, if you don't mind, no, siyempre, pag boss ka usap mo, parang you have to watch your words, di ba?
True. And
kakausap mo boss mo, magreklamo ka about something, parang pipilihan mo pa na magandang timing, di ba? You have to use your words properly kasi nga, you're afraid na baka ma-offend or whatnot.
Totoo. And when you listen, which I was a bad listener before. Kaya talaga nakita ko yung transition, no? It changed na when you listen, that's the time you are able to ask big questions too, or at least the right questions to ask. But if not, meron ka ng ready defense. So, hindi na siya communication.
Okay, well, I like what he said. I'm gonna go to ano naman, no, Sir Marlon, no. What do you think are the most or the dangerous traits naman, mga delikadong trait that could derail a leader?
Yeah. I think if recently there was a tweet from Adam Grant though. Sabi niya that based on data, most of the people who are aspiring to become a leader and want to learn about leadership are most of them are narcissistic. So meaning to
Okay.
say is that most of them na parang they want to learn leadership is they think that they are the center of the universe. So I think that is the dangerous thing about leadership. Most of
Yung
leaders
feeling mo ikaw lagi tama, ganun.
yes, ikaw parating
Oo.
tama, and at the same time parang sa psychology there's a term yung imaginary audience. Yung parang tipong kapag lumalabas ka ng mall or somewhere, parang feeling mo lahat nakatingin sa and because of that you think na parang you are like a god. And I think that is a very dangerous thing, that you think that you're powerful, you can control everything, and sometimes it reflects with the way we manage people. Na parang dapat ganito ugali niya, dapat ganito siya, and we always we close our doors and we do not make a room for us to learn from them. And I think there's also one very important thing that I've learned about leadership. No, nag-reflect ito sa study ni Jim Collins. If you know this book, The Good to Great, that most of the people, most of the organizations, great organizations, have great leaders, and one of the greatest quality of this organization, they have great leaders, and yung quality na yon, yung common denominator is humility. And humility is about accepting the blame kung nagkamali ka. It's something like you say sorry. And tama si Miss Tony doon, yung tinatawag na vulnerability. Na parang somehow you take all the blame, na parang hey, I forgive me. It's my fault. Taking responsibility. And also another way of humility is like thinking that you do not know everything. And it is about dito is what we call is the learning centered leadership, na parang we think across, we learn from other people. So yeah, I think that's something that we have to be on guard, yung thinking that we are like a god.
Since ikaw yung leader, feeling mo ikaw lagi yung dapat
Yes.
masunod. It closes your opportunities to learn and even be better.
Yeah,
Feeling mo ikaw na yung superior, di ba?
I agree.
Minsan that really happens. So, let's go to Vince here. Vince, para sa'yo naman, what is the most or what is a very important quality that you look for in an employee? Being a leader, syempre, di ba, merong, pag nag-i-interview ka, ano yung mga qualities hinahanap mo, especially these days?
My favorite thing with people I work with is initiative, where they don't have to wait for you to say something, for someone to say something. They already do something. And doing something doesn't always means they have to completely fix it, but at least they have to take initiative, bring it up during the meeting, like, hey, I noticed this, rather than just ignoring things, waiting for someone to assign it to them. So if I see initiative in someone, usually that's already a great sign of someone who's going to be amazing at their workplace and who will probably be a future leader.
I like that. Take initiative, of course, kesa yung abang ka lang ng utos, di ba?
Yeah.
Do something about the situation. Did you want to add anything? Let's talk about qualities that we look for these days. Coach Tony and Marlon?
Yeah, that's good. Very good talaga yan, Vince, yung initiative, and at the same time, humility, like what Marlon said, because when you are humble, you are able to also admit what you need to improve on, so you now become teachable. And there's one thing that I like also na lagi kong hinahanap, no, yung respect. Because once a person is humble and then they have that initiative and then nababalance niya rin ng respect, then everything else will follow. They are willing now to understand further how to show respect when it comes to this kind of, let's say, meeting, when it comes to appearance, which what I teach now, appearance, behavior, communication. So if everything are done not for the purpose of self gratification, but because you wanted to respect and honor who needs it, then the humility to adjust as well, because sometimes we have our own preferences, will happen, and then teamwork will now come in. So there, I think it's basically not impossible. In fact, these are also can be inspired by the leader to their group, no, to their team. That this is the outcome when everyone is somehow trying, or at least trying their best to be initiative, at the same time give respect. And you will see that if they respect themselves, definitely they can be able to respect others, because we cannot just give from an empty cup. So there, once they execute or demonstrate that she actually or he actually respects herself by her actions, we will see it by the words. We all know that the abundance of the heart speak also there. I think I'll give Marlon to add more. There are a lot,
Yeah.
but sometimes there's just
Qualities.
yeah, may mga root cause kasi yan na pwede nang mag-branch out sa ibang qualities. So I think respect and humility is good.
Yeah. I agree with that. No, siguro I just want to reiterate yung sinabi ni Vince kanina. Yung parang it's something like you are thinking na the title is not always forever yours, and it's something like not being too entitled, and the response to that is to train more people, be willing to pass the baton to the next generation, and that is one. It's about not being too entitled with the leadership role. So being a team player, and pero isa sa pinaka-importante rin, I just want to add, in this generation, it is called as patience. Okay. Sobra patience. And imagine, this world is really, very fast, and also making things better, work smart. Tama yun. I agree with working smart, but I also agree na parang there should also have an element of working hard, na in a sense na we cannot achieve that working smart, if we do not go through the process, yung process of pains and gains, and also I think it is rooted to what we call as passion. Passion is if you root the word passion, it comes from the old Latin word. It means suffering. So imagine that if you are a passionate person, if you are patient, you are passionate. And if you are passionate, it means that you are enjoying the suffering more than the rewards. Meaning to say, in a layman's term, in a layman's word, parang it's something like you are enjoying your work, your job, even if you're not being paid, if you are not being recognized, if you are not being, walang pumapansin sa'yo. It's about patience. It's about passion. So yun yung isang bagay na can also help the person grow, and also process the pains. At yun yung magiging dahilan para maging mabuti siyang leader, because napagdaanan niya lahat ng pighati ng buhay, yung sakit, and because of that, magkakaroon siya ng magandang response also to every time that nakaka-receive siya ng bashers or what, that's leadership. Leadership is about dealing with different kinds of people, even with the difficult ones. So kung ang gusto niya lang makatrabaho yung madaling katrabaho, I think merong isang aspect pa na kailangang i-win. Yun yung mga taong hindi winnable or mga difficult. Ang tawag nila is the high maintenance people. So yeah, patience and passion.
Ay, tama yan, no? Actually, like they say, trust the process, diba? There's like you said, you have to go through hardships. It's not always going to be easy, and I think sometimes that's what really brings out a good leader, more than the good times or the easier times. It's when you guys are faced with challenges, dun lumalabas talaga yung qualities na magaling na leader. Diba? I mean, we've seen it, of course, not just in our careers, not just in business, but even in sports, diba? If you will, diba? Then lumalabas yung greatest of the great, diba? When they're down and what they do in the situation. let's talk about that. No, in your specific careers, what do you think would be your most defining leadership behavior? Let's start with Vince.
Uh, in the internet industry,
Oh,
with blogging, social media management, influencer marketing, etc., I think the number one thing is adaptability. Everything
very well
moves so
said.
fast, even just things we post because of Facebook's algorithm, because of Instagram's algorithm, the new social media platforms like TikTok coming out every other week. Things change so fast. If you don't adapt, you will lose. I remember not word for word, but the old CEO of Nokia, when Nokia started crumbling down because they didn't adapt. I believe it was the CEO went uh, had a media panel, and he said we didn't do anything wrong, but yet we failed.
Okay.
It was because they didn't do anything wrong. But they didn't change. They didn't adapt. They just kept going with what they had because they were the number one phone before. But unfortunately, when the touch screens came out, they didn't adapt as quickly, and that's what happened. So in my industry, in the internet, it's you have to be fast.
I have to agree with you. Coach Tony, most defining
Yeah,
leadership moment or
I agree
behavior.
with that. You have to be fast. You have to be adaptive. For me, I have two: clarity and proactiveness, and which is so much related to what you said, Vince. No, clarity is something that will prevent you from being confused and sometimes waver or not being consistent. So if you are clear about who you are with your vision, you can plan, and the planning will now help you not be reactive because, like what you said, Vince, everything is changing. Everything is changing. But if you have a certain plan, backup plan, you are now beginning or leading your team towards proactiveness rather than just reacting. And that's so difficult to do if you are not or if you do not have that clarity. For example, clarity in vision, clarity of who you are as a leader, clarity of your weakness, things that we talk about are your strength, your weakness. If all those are being clear with you as well as communicated with your team, then they will be inspired to have clarity too. Not just like wait and see. And then you now inspire confidence in them to trust you, your leadership, because everything is communicated with clarity, the vision, the direction, as well as the values that will hold you together because we have different, character and background. And then being proactive is something that they will now enjoy and like because sometimes not all believe in the same principle. Why do we need to be proactive? It's not happening yet. Are we worrying? But when they understand that clarity also brings everyone to plan so that when this one happens, we can do plan B. When this one happens, we can do plan C. Then they will also adapt to that kind of leadership when real changes happens.
All right. Sir Marlon, anything you want to add?
Yeah. For me, my define. I mean, based on my experience, I started the business as early as 21 or 20 years old, and I think the challenge at the time was I was so impatient. Really, I was so impatient to have to see results. I had no corporate background. I just started let's start the business, and bahala na, tawag doon, bahala na si Batman. And I think from there I realized na parang yung and it is connected with what I was saying a while ago. Patience is a very, very important virtue of a leader because at that time, because of my impatience, ang daming apektuhan. My staff, the people around me, my family members, and lumaki yung utang ko. As in talagang sunod-sunod siya. Even my relationship, ang daming naapektuhan. And because of that, I told that to myself na let's trust the process. Tama yun, Sam, what you have said a while ago.
Correct.
Trust the process. Tuloy-tuloy lang. But something like also would like to also reiterate din sinabi ni Tony, it's more of if you are a risk taker, as much as possible, plan. Okay. Ang tawag doon is calculated risk. So I think yun yung pinaka natutunan ko sa buhay ko until now.
Doesn't happen overnight, no? You
Yes,
want
yes.
you want success, you have to work and stay strong. It's not gonna be an easy process. Doesn't happen overnight. Sabi nga
Yeah.
natin, di ba? Talagang process. Guys, any final words for our students who are with us this afternoon? Vince, let's start with you.
For me, it's just keep going. I feel like that there's so many challenges in life, especially the past couple of years. We had the pandemic, we were stuck at home, and just so many things. So I think it's the people who realize after they fall, they have to get back up. So if you
Mhm.
can do that, you'll eventually reach your goals.
I like that. Coach Tony?
Well, I think what I can say based from experience and facts as well is to focus on the one one audience and one source of confidence. As a leader, you need
Mhm.
to be confident, and it's a bit spiritual. So if you anchor yourself towards God, and He is the only reason why you also do such excellence, and then it will be consistent because He is consistent yesterday, today, and tomorrow, and you are beginning to be less self-centered. I was inspired by what Vince said. You're beginning to be developing more leaders to also do that, to focus on that one audience and one source of confidence.
There you go. Sir Marlon.
Yeah, and for me, always choose to be good. Always choose to be kind, even if the world is. I mean, it's
It's not.
against you. It's not. Kahit na lahat ng gusto natin di natin nasusunod, but always choose to be good and to be kind. And I also agree with Tony. It's about trusting God. And combining the thoughts ni Sam and ni Tony, it's something like trusting God in the process of your journey in leadership, and also to also, again, yung sinabi ni Vince, no, parang you're not the center of the universe. It's about time to train more leaders, and the next generation is very crucial, and your role as a leader is to multiply yourself. And just enjoy your journey and trust God along the way.
There you have it. I hope you guys have picked up some very good insights from our speakers. Thank you so much, Coach Tony. Thank you, Vince. Thank you, Marlon, for sharing your wisdom and your time with us. Of course, we'll see you around very, very soon. Ayan na. There you have it. Our first forum. Una pa lang yan, no? And after a short video, we will go straight to our next forum on mental health. All right, here we go. From leadership, now we're gonna move to another medyo mas personal topic naman tayo. Something na bihira lang pag-usapan. We hardly talk about this, but we really need to talk about it, especially these days after going through a crazy pandemic. It's called mental health. In this forum, we'll talk more about, of course, how to cope with uncertain times, with social media, tong toxic culture na tinatawag natin, and of course, with the new normal. We have three very special guests joining us for this forum. Of course, let me introduce to you the voice of Mindset Podcast, Alec Cuenca. Alec, hello. We also have the host of the Papa Tenor, Johan Enriquez. Johan, please say hi as well.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, medyo konting choppy, but we got you now. Okay,
Yep.
last but not the least,
All right, thank
we
you.
have YouTube's millennial psychologist, Ryan Portugues.
Hi everyone. Hello, Sam.
Hi, good afternoon, guys. Super happy to have you on board. Let's get right to it, no? I'm sure dati kasi itong mental health hindi napapag-usapan. Tapos bigla na pag-usapan, tapos bigla nagka-pandemic. Ngayon, parang so many people are going through different mental health issues and whatnot. Could be because of social media, and daming, everything's popping up. But pag-usapan muna natin ang ibig sabihin ng mental health. Ano nga ba ang mental health?
I think ako yung unang sasagot dyan kasi
Sure, go ahead. Yeah.
kasi psychologist. So, well, madaming ano yun eh. Mahabang definition niya from World Health Organization. But for me, kung isa-summarize ko siya, when we talk about mental health, it's the science of self-love. Kasi anything that you do to improve your well-being, yan, nagkakaroon ka ng growth, nagkakaroon ka ng naging productive ka, nakaka-help ka sa ibang tao. In general, self-love yon. Example siya ng self-love kasi hinahayaan mo yung sarili mo na mag-flourish ka. And science kasi syempre yung pag-aalaga natin sa ating mental health, kailangan talaga evidence-based din. So for me, in short lang, mental health is the science of self-love.
Ang ganda. The science of, ngayon ko lang narinig yung ganyang definition, no? The science of self-love. No? Do you want to add anything, Johan? Ano bang, what does it mean to you? Ano ba ang mental health?
Well, for me, I'm really not a psychiatrist or a psychologist. I'm actually a singer, a host, a theater actor. But the way I see mental health is, I think it's more. It involves more of a person's mental. I mean, a person's social and emotional well-being. It affects our decisions. It affects our relationship with other people. So it's really important that a person is mentally fit and mentally healthy. Not only physically fit, but more so, a person should also be mentally fit and healthy. Yeah.
There we go. Okay. I mentioned this kanina, nagsisimula tayo. Bakit ba ang daming may mental health issues these days? Especially among our youth. Ano tingin nyo? Bakit, ano ba to? May kasalanan ba ng TikTok, Instagram? Sino ba may kasalanan nito? Ano tingin nyo ang source nitong mga mental health issues ng mga kabataan niyan?
Yeah, kadalasan ko na talagang naririnig yan kahit sa mga older generation na parang ano ba yan, yung mga bata ngayon or kabataan ngayon, fragile. So sabi ko,
correct.
Not necessarily fragile or masyadong sensitive, no? And I think ito yung impact din talaga nung awareness natin or promotional awareness about mental health. Actually, dapat mas matuwa tayo na maraming taong pinag-uusapan yung mental health at nagiging open about mental health. So kung mapapansin natin, before pa lang, may mga issues na rin yung mga kabataan, kaya lang mas open ngayon kasi nakita nila na mas maraming safe space or mas maraming tao nakakapag-unawa sa kanilang condition. So I think yun, no? Yung power ng mental health promotion din talaga.
Okay, Johan, what do you think? Bakit our youth seems to be dealing with a lot of mental health issues unlike before?
Well, for me, I think it's primarily because we are living in this time and age wherein everything is so unprecedented. Like, for example, the pandemic we're all in. I mean, for this generation, this is the first time that we are all experiencing this kind of setup. And not to mention all the, the pressures that the youth would normally have. So, yung mga issues with their families, with their friends, with their school, so many issues that they need to be able to live with. So plus the pandemic that we have, the being fearful about their health, about their safety. So I think all of these things, can really affect our mental health or our young people's mental health in a very negative way. Yeah.
I'm gonna get straight to the next question, Johan. We know that it's affecting a lot of our youth. Pero what are some of the things you can advise or you can do to take care of your mental well-being?
Well, for me, I think for a person or for a young person to keep his mental health, good, I think it's important for a young person to keep himself or herself very active. He needs to get involved with physical activities, not being able to just stay at home and do nothing and just be alone most of the time. I think it's important that for persons to be physically active, spend time with friends, being able to communicate well with his or her family, friends. Not being able to I know open book. Your life should be, you need to be very accountable in terms of your life with your friends and families. Yeah.
Meron ka ba daw from our audience, meron ka bang song na ma-recommend or your good vibes playlist?
Well, siguro, just one song that popped into my head right now when we talk about mental health. I think this song by Michael Jackson, "You Are Not Alone, I Am Here With You." Yeah, we're not alone. I mean, our friends are always a phone call away, a message away. So if ever we feel, lonely, depressed, or we are being attacked by anxiety, it's important that we phone a friend. We let our friends know about what's going on in our lives. And I think that would really help us maintain a good mental health. Yeah.
Ayun. Ms. Rian, anything you want to add to that? Paano ba dapat alagaan tong mental health natin?
Well, isa sa mga pwede natin gawin is to navigate yung mga alternatives na meron tayo, something na suitable sa atin. So, self-care, yun yung talagang kailangan. But kailangan natin i-remember when it comes to self-care, hindi siya something na force tayong gawin. So meaning, parang i-make sure natin, kapag sinabing self-care, it's something that you actually enjoy. So something na nakakatulong sa'yo para mabawasan yung distress mo. So there are different ways para malaman mo kung ano yung self-care mo. Number one, pwede mong hanapin yung interest mo. Pwede mong i-check yung hobbies mo. Pwede mong i-check yung mga usual things na ginagawa mo na nakakatulong sa'yo para, alam mo yun, makalma ka, makaramdam ka ng ginhawa, yung mga simple things like yung personal hygiene natin, naliligo tayo, nag-aayos tayo, nag-organize tayo, pwede din natin isama yon, no? So maraming ways para alagaan natin yung sarili natin. Hindi siya necessarily na expensive or luxurious na kailangan mag-travel ka or pumunta ka sa mamahaling restaurant o para lang ma-enjoy mo talaga nagsa-self-care ka. Pwede rin siya yung nagpapahinga ka lang sa labas ng bahay ninyo, nakikinig ka ng magandang music, nakita mo yung mga ng puno. Example lang yun, yung being mindful no, sa mga nangyari sa paligid natin, good din yun. Right? Na way ng breathing exercise, self-care din siya. So there are different ways para mag-improve yung well-being natin. It's just a matter of looking ano ba yung alternative na talagang suitable for you.
Ayun, I think yun nga, we also mentioned kanina na talagang as human beings, hindi naman tayo sanay, no, na being enclosed, and that's what happened during the pandemic, no? Hindi natin nakikita yung mga friends natin, relatives natin, but now, of course, hopefully, dire-diretso na to, that we're in a much better situation, and we definitely should go out and talk to people, diba? Enjoy the company of our families and our friends. Let's talk about ito, medyo sensitive issue naman to, no, tong depression, no? What if you know someone with depression? Paano hinahandle to? How do you go about handling someone or a friend na alam mong may depression?
Okay, so siguro ako muna, no? Not necessarily depression, but other mental health disorders or someone na po pwedeng mukhang may struggle lang siya. Minsan kasi parang nakakulong na tayo dun sa idea na, dapat kapag may depression or may psychological disorder, ganito natin siya i-handle. I think, hindi din natin tinitingnan yung part na dahil lang may depression or dahil lang may psychological disorder, alam mo yun, i-treat na natin. Actually, almost the same thing lang din naman. May struggle ka or wala kang psychological disorder o kaya naman may psychological disorder kasi hindi naman yung way ng pag-treat natin halos, no? Kung hindi ka naman din talaga mental health professional, ang talagang kailangan natin gawin, maging sensitive tayo with their needs. And may times na hindi tayo mag-a-assume ng kung ano yung needs nila kasi may times na kung tayo yung nag-a-assume doon, may times na nagiging insensitive pala tayo o kaya naman masyado tayong nangihimasok dun sa life nila. So usually talaga if we're not sure kung ano yung kailangan nila, thoughtful kapag nag-a-ask tayo ng question na pwede bang malaman ano kaya yung tingin mo na pwede kong matulong sa'yo para right din yung way ng pag-help ko sa'yo. So, something na gano'n, no? Parang better to ask questions din kaysa mag-assume din tayo. O kaya by being present lang, nakikinig ka lang maigi kung ano yung problem niya. Huwag kang magbigay ng advice kung hindi naman niya hinihingi.
Okay
And
lang
don't
yun. Just be there to listen.
Yeah, oo, yung mere presence mo, helpful na yun. And don't forget na wag natin i-compare yung experience niya sa ibang experience sa ibang tao kasi hindi ito pabigatan ng problem eh. O, hindi nakakagaan ng feeling na sabihan na, ito nga ang problem niya ganito eh. So ikaw, kayanin mo din yan. Nakakainis yun. No? So kumbaga yan lang yung basic din naman. Be sensitive and then be mindful, be present, listen intently. And don't forget to encourage them to seek professional help kung na-observe talaga natin na parang napapabayaan niya yung sarili niya o kaya naman mukhang nakikita na talaga natin yung evident na talaga yung problem.
Ayun. Ayun, anything you want to add? No? How do you deal with someone na may depression?
Well, for me, Sam, I really am not a professional like Marian right here. But if I would learn about a friend of mine who's having depression, I think even before he would resort to taking in meds, because I think for clinical depression, di ba, Marian, meds are being prescribed to them. But I think me as a friend, if I heard of somebody like a friend of mine who's having depression, I think I would really invest on spending time with this person. You know, just be with the person, spend quality time with him or her, and being able to hear him or her out. I think that should also be helpful for the person. Being able to hear her struggles, the things going on in his or her mind, and just like what Marian has mentioned, you know, we should not be very intrusive as far as our counsel or our encouragement them is concerned. We should just allow them to speak out, and for us to be able to ask the right questions, so that we would also know how to, you know, to help them appropriately as his or her situation would spell. So yeah, quality time and good listening skills. Yeah.
Very well said, Marian. If you don't mind me asking, ano ba are there any symptoms you should look out for na parang, teka, itong friend ko baka, may pinagdadaanan to. Kasi normally, di ba, usually, hindi naman sila nagpapakita ng symptoms, di ba? How would you know? Or signs, sorry, not symptoms, I'm not sure if it's the right term. Signs.
Signs.
Okay.
Yeah. Usually makikita naman natin yon na parang there's something different sa kanya. Ikaw as a friend, makikita mo yun na parang may pinagdadaanan siya. Yung silence ng kaibigan mo, dapat nga naintindihan mo yun. Yung kaibigan mo siya, di ba? Yung okay, parang may iba sa kanya ngayon, di ba? And usually, yun nga lang, kapag confront mo sila, usually sasabihin yan, okay lang ako. Oh. Pero maganda na maging safe space ka para later on, ma-feel niya na okay lang naman i-open up yung sarili niya sa'yo. So yung titignan mo dito yun, kung meron ka nakikita na different siya, ayan, maganda na kausapin mo siya. May times yun nga, mahirap makita din kasi sa signs. Iba kasi ang galing magtago, nakangiti,
correct.
okay pa rin naman yung performance niya, pero may ma-feel ka talaga. Pero dun sa isang tao talaga, kung alam niya na may problema siya, malalaman mo yun kung ikaw mismo, yung symptoms kasi ikaw yung nakaka-experience, usually ma-observe mo na may impairment na on your end. Regardless kung anong psychological problem to, kasi di mo pa naman malalaman yun unless nagpa-check ka sa amin, sa psychologist, kaya naman po pwede na sa psychiatrist. Ma-observe mo may impairment on your end. May negative stress ka na feel or distress na nagli-lead sa impairment, meaning may mga pagkakataon na hindi ka makapag-perform ng tama sa personal life mo. Halimbawa, dati-dati, nakakaligo ka ng effortless. Ngayon, parang ilang beses mo nang hinahatak sarili mo, tapos wala kang gana, may mga ganyan.
Okay.
O kaya naman, usually nafe-feel mo na parang wala kang enough energy to socialize, ganyan. O pwede na observe mo, may difference na din sa tulog mo, hindi na okay yung quality ng sleep mo, naapektuhan na yung appetite mo. So marami pa, pero yung pinaka-common sleep and then yung sa appetite. And then ma-observe mo na merong depletion ng energy mo if ever, or motivation, ganyan. Yan yung common, no, na merong impairment sa atin. Then, pwede rin dysfunctionality, leading to dysfunctionality, meaning hindi ka na makapag-function tulad dati.
Okay.
Affected na yung school mo, o kaya kung nag-work ka, affected na yung mismong work mo. And ma-observe mo, most of the time, pati yung social interaction mo, affected din siya. It's either mabilis mong misinterpret yung ibang tao o mabilis kang ma-misinterpret din ng iba. Bakit? Kasi yung medyo nagbabago din yung mood mo or yung way mo kung paano ka makapag-interact tumataas boses mo, mabilis uminit ulo mo, irritated ka kasi. So minsan nagiging bad nagiging bad tayo sa mata ng ibang tao kasi nga may pinagdadaanan tayo. So yung dysfunctionality important yan. Pangatlo, pwedeng dangerousness. Meron ka na bang naiisip ng mga bagay na madalas na hindi maganda? Halimbawa, may suicidal ideation, o kaya naman may suicidal intention, o kaya may urge of self-harm. So it's something na kailangan natin tingnan. Kapag may ganyan, maganda mag-seek ng professional help din. And then po pwede din yung deviancy or yung unusualness ng behavior mo. Ikaw as someone na nakaka-experience ng may pinagdadaanan, malalaman mo yan na may different na sa'yo. Huwag mong i-deny, kasi the more na dinideny mo yan, the more na nagkakaroon tayo ng issue or ng problem. So better na i-accept mo yon, and then kailangan mo siyang i-confront by asking professional help para maging okay po kayo, no? Or para ma-prevent mo yung sarili mo from further harm. Kung nasa eskwelahan kayo, tulad nito, nandito kayo ngayon sa Trimex, i-maximize na ninyo yung chance ninyo na kumausap ng guidance counselor.
Counselor, right?
Oo, di ba? Kasi may times, di ba, na parang nahihiya kayong lumapit o kaya naman parang natatakot kayo. Magkaiba yung guidance counselor, hindi naman yan nandidiscipline talaga, no? Ang talaga niyan sa mental health. Kung kayo ay underage, hindi kayo agad-agad makakalapit sa psychologist, importante si guidance counselor, siya muna kausapin mo. Sabi mo sa kanya na may issue ka about opening up dun sa parents mo, baka di ka payagan. Tutulungan kayo nung guidance counselor na yan para masik mo yung tulong ng isang psychologist kasi ipapatawag niya yung parents mo, tapos kakausapin niya, explain yung condition mo para malaman ng parents mo na hindi something talaga na biro yung nararamdaman mo. So, yung guidance counselor nyo, helpful talaga yan sa eskwelahan, i-maximize nyo na. And of course, yung pinakahuling duration, if 2 weeks or more than 2 weeks, alam mo na lumalabas yung mga na-mention ko na yon, not necessarily lahat ay mag-appear, pero 2, 3, nakikita mong nandun na. Ayan, gamitin nyo na yung pagkakataon na magsik kayo ng professional help. Ayan.
There we go. Very, very well said. Anything you guys want to add to all our students joining us this afternoon? So, where are you on? Let's start with you.
Well, just a message for all the students who are tuning into this Zoom right now. Like what the reason why we have this topic is because mental health is a serious concern that we have today, especially because we're still trying to survive this pandemic that we're all living in. So like what we all talked about, but like what we all have been talking about, what Rian has been saying, it's important that we are keen and cautious about the things that's happening in our lives. Yung mga activities of daily living natin. If there are things that we used to do that we are no longer doing right now, like for example, when you take a bath, you feel lazy taking a bath now, unlike before. Those are some things, and especially in our diet, when we lose appetite and we also have a hard time sleeping at night, we tend to be more insomniac compared to the time before. So, and also we need to also be keen about the feedback that we are receiving from our friends, from our families, so if they notice changes in us. So I think those are things that we need to watch out for in ourselves, so that we would be aware, we would know if something is wrong with us, and never hesitate, like what Rian has mentioned, never hesitate to seek for professional help.
Correct.
First, we need to maximize our guidance counselor in our schools. They're not there for nothing. It's important that we seek professional help at all times, because more often than not, we really would not know how to manage being mentally unhealthy. So it's important that we always seek counsel professionally, or if not professionally, probably we can start with seeking counsel from friends, asking them to listen to us, seeking counsel from our families, and even more importantly, I think it's all connected to our spiritual lives. I think it's important that we go back to the Lord. We ask the Lord to help us. We go back to His Word. We go back to the Bible, and never be afraid or never be too shy to ask for help there.
All right. Ms. Rian, any final words or messages?
To those people na nag-struggle ng mental health disorder, or kung nag-struggle man kayo, you are more than your problems, you are more than your disorder. You have the power to overcome kung ano man yan. Kailangan lang syempre ng right type of help, and of course, don't hesitate na mag-ask din tayo ng help. Kasi social beings tayo, it's normal na mag-ask tayo talaga ng help sa mga kasama natin kasi nakakatulong talaga yan para mag-boost yung well-being natin. So, don't be afraid na mag-ask ng help. Sabi nga ni Brené Brown, vulnerability sounds like truth, and feels like courage. It's really brave of you if you ask for help.
There we go. That is what should be done. Wag mahiya, because we are all doing this, to help and bring each other up, no, to help each other up. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us and for your wisdom and your time. And we hope to see you around. All
Thank
right,
you.
we're gonna take a quick break, no? And ang susunod na forum natin, napaka-exciting. Usapang business naman tayo when we get back.
All right. Thank you so much, Sam, at sa ating mga guest, no, na-invite natin na mag-talk about mental health.
Totoo. Thank you so much everyone for still being here and with us. Kahit nakailang oras na ba tayo, ma'am?
Yes, it's already 3 o'clock. We started at 1, diba? May pre-program tayo, or 1:30.
Totoo. And we hope that you still be with us up to the end of the program. So ano bang gagawin natin? We keep sharing our live stream.
Yes,
Oo
sa
nga.
Facebook. So currently, Sir Tony,
Ilan
medyo
ba?
parang nabababaan ako sa number na to, Sir Tony.
Totoo.
With the
600
headcount
ata.
ng Trimex colleges pa lang, dapat mas mataas dito, hindi tayo papayag, ha? So right now, meron pa lang tayong 1,200 shares. Napakapayat nito. Ang payat. And
Ilan ba yung expect mo?
ine-expect ko kasi doble ng last year, 'di ba? Kasi dapat nagle-level up nga. Dahil yun ang theme natin today, 'di ba? At 33,000 comments pa lang. So dahil diyan,
Nauntian ka pa sa
oo,
33,000.
pa-comment pa guys. Kailangan pa tayong mag-comment. Are you guys ready for the next forum? Pa-type ng ready sa lahat ng mga ready nang makinig sa forum number 3, which is the highlight ng ating summit today, no? Business and
Ano ba to, ready pa
entrepreneurship.
baba?
Ready pa baba.
Okay.
Ayan, kailangan makabuo din dahil hindi si Sir ko magpapapagawa.
Totoo. Meron din tayo.
Meron
Magkano
din.
ba ibibigay mo?
Magkano, Sir Michael? Sir Boyet? Roca?
Magbibigay tayo ng 300 GCash.
O kung kanina, magkano? Eto.
Oo, parang
300. So nakikita nyo, meron din kaming box dito.
Yes.
Extended ang ating what's inside the box. So huhula pa rin kayo. So dalawa yung winner. Kasi yung makakabuo nung ready pa baba, kasi padadamihin natin ang comments, no? At syempre, yung makakahula,
kung ano yung nasa loob.
yes, kung ano yung nasa labas.
Try mo kayang alugin.
Ayan, so aalugin namin ni Sir Tony. Naririnig nyo ba, guys? Okay, lakasan natin ng konti. Ayan, dinig ba? Okay. So
Ayan.
yun,
Parang madami yung nasa loob.
Parang madami, no? Sounds like madami siya sa loob. So, hindi ko lang alam kung sino yung very creative na audience natin ang magwawagi na makakahula. So, meron pa rin tayong technical team. Ayan. Sir
Meron pa
Tony,
ding technical team na magbe-verify kung sino nga ba yung nakakuha ng tamang
so,
sagot.
pakinggan natin ng mabuti kung ano yung tunog.
Huhulaan ko.
Sige, Sir Tony. Gusto mo ba?
Tao ba to?
Hindi.
Ginagamit ba to ng tao?
Pwede?
Saan?
Ay, sige, hulaan natin. Hindi na tayo magbibigay ng clue kasi may mabilis na magwawagi. Dapat padamihin natin ang comments. Diba? Comment sa mga gusto pang manalo. So, meron na tayong pag-game kanina at meron pa rin tayong extended winner.
Ayan, so meron na tayong mga hula. Sabi
May mga
dito,
hula na.
keys. Tama ba yon?
Ano daw, Sir Tony?
Susi, keys.
Susi. Actually, hindi ko din alam kung
Hindi mo ba alam?
Ay, hindi. Sige, ano
May
pa?
mga comments pa, wall clock. Tama ba yon?
Wall clock. Naku, parang...
Hindi, parang maliit lang siya.
Oo, maliit lang siya para sa wall clock. No?
Kinakain ba yan? Kinakain ata yan.
Pwede.
Oo, kinakain.
Yes. Ano ba to?
Ano ba yung kulay ng supot niyan?
Ang kulay ng supot, magbibigay ba ako ng clue, Sir Mike? Combination eh.
Oo.
Ang kulay ng supot niya.
Anong kulay?
Oo, so Sabihin ko ba?
Oo, kasi malapit na tayong
Malapit
mag-resume.
na tayo mag-resume. Sige, white. White ba? Tama ba ako, sir? Ay, may nanalo na. Ang
Meron
galing.
na?
Ang taba-taba naman ng utak.
Ano yung sagot nung nanalo? Kailangan tamang candy.
Okay, dapat specific.
Dapat specific yung candy.
Ay, carry
Carry na ba
daw.
yun?
Sige. At dapat may sharer badge. Diba? O, pag wala siyang sharer badge. Nako.
Oo, kasi importante kung anong
Ayan,
candy yung nakalagay dito.
Papakita ba natin, Sir Tony?
May sharer badge.
siya. So, qualified.
Sige, so may
Ayan.
panalo na pala tayo. So meron tayo ditong candies. Ayan, so snow bear
Sino
yung
yung nakaabot
candy.
ng snow bear?
Naisip pa ba yung snow bear na candy?
Ayan.
Ayan, so
Ang
ang
ating
nanalo.
winner ay si Joyce Ann Luis Martin.
Ayan,
Bakit
congratulations,
Ang
Joyce
iksi ng
Ann.
pangalan ni Joyce. Congratulations! You have just won snow bear candies. Papadala namin to sa inyo.
Oo, pero may nanalo na ba sa ready pa ba?
Ready pa ba ba? We will check later. Na may technical team tayo na mag-check.
Sige.
And I think
We're
ready
ready
na
for
tayo.
the third forum. So now we welcome back to the live stream, Sam.
YG.
All right, thank you guys. Thank you so much, guys. Medyo interesting ang game nyo, pero eto, malupit man ang topic natin as mentioned. Punta naman tayo sa usapang business. Of course, ito na ang second half ng ating summit and our speakers are very, very interesting as well. They're joining us right about now. Our first speaker is the founding and managing director of Accelerate Marketing. Please welcome Axel Adamos. Axel, hello.
Hi, Sam. Hello, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for that intro, Sam.
All right. We also have our HR millennial, Tessa Mercado. Tessa, hello.
Hi. Hi, good afternoon, and welcome, everyone.
And of course, sa creatives naman tayo, we have a creative entrepreneur, Kia Abrera. Hi, Kia.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Sam. Hi, Trimex Colleges. Hi, guys.
Okay, let's get down to business. No, let's start with this first question. No, what is your favorite part about being an entrepreneur? Axel, let's start with you.
Okay. So I think my favorite part is the limitless pursuit. Like as an entrepreneur, basically there's no limit to actually what you can do and what you can achieve. Like for example, you can expand your business, like even no ceiling income if that's what you prefer, or kasi unlike if you're an employee, diba, you have to have a stable like income and all. Pero when it comes to being an entrepreneur, technically you can achieve everything. Anything that you can think of. There's no limit to what you can't control in the business. Like it excites me. That thing excites me. So I think that's my favorite part.
All right, Ms. Tessa?
Yeah, actually, I'm not really into business pero sa HR side kasi ako. Pero the good thing about sa HR side na lang siguro, meron kang power o kumbaga parang yung dealing with other people or yung inside yung customer mo, which is the employees. Yun talaga yung pinaka-exciting part. Kasi different personalities, different POV. So, yun yung pinaka-nakaka-excite. At the same time, as millennial kasi, ang makakasama mo ka talaga mas matanda sa'yo. So, at least, tapos yung mga ideas nila. So, yun yung pinaka-best part as an HR as well.
There we go. Kia.
For me, it's the control over the direction. So when I say direction, it's not just about the revenue or what you can earn, but it's also the impact that you want to make. And it's something that I've discovered being in entrepreneurship for almost 8 years now. Now, before, yun din yung iniisip ko na, walang ceiling pagdating sa revenue. I can achieve as much revenue as I want. But then, when we started going into social impact marketing, mas naging glaring sa akin yung pwede mong maset yung goals mo, pwede mong maset yung vision mo. You have control over all of that. You don't need to follow a boss in terms of a clear vision and goals and how you want to get there. So for me, the most important thing for me and the most the most exhilarating thing about being an entrepreneur for me is your control over the direction of your company.
Very, very well said. Let's talk about how you guys got to where you are today. Paano ba kayo nag-start in your respective fields? Let's start with Tessa.
Yeah, actually, 9 years ago, so 2013, I graduated BS Psychology. Actually, tatlo kasi yung OJT ko. Internship, educational, industrial, and clinical. So lahat yon is nakuha ko po or kumbaga parang tinake ko. So pinaka-expose kasi talaga when it comes to yung outside world is the industrial setting. So which is ang pinaka-align niya talaga is human resource talagang sa company. And talagang alam mo yung exposure kasi talaga and iba-ibang, kumbaga sa clinical kasi of course yung mga rehab, yung mga sa ganon, sa mga bata, special child, sa educational naman kasi more on bata lang. So talagang mo college or elementary or whatever. But sa industrial setting kasi talagang iba't ibang tao yung makakasalamuha mo eh. Different generations then as well. So yun doon ako from there, doon na decidean ko, talagang kailangan kong mag-industrial setting. Kaya po napunta ako as an HR. Right. Thank you.
I see. Axel?
Okay. So ako kasi basically my dream was to become an entrepreneur like ever since I was a kid. I looked up to my grandfather. He was an entrepreneur, and when I got the chance to save up for my first business, I didn't even know what type of industry I wanted. Pero I basically wanted to be an entrepreneur. And when I was 17 years old, I was able to start my little burger joint, yung may mga colored burgers sa Marikina City. And at that time, we were actually one of the first businesses to do that here in the Philippines. We got the idea from SpongeBob. But anyway, so basically, when I started my first business, sabi ko, I didn't have capital to market or advertise my products because I was 17 and I had everything for the equipments and everything. So sabi ko, as a 17-year-old, how would I market and advertise my products? And I thought of social media, syempre, as a teenager. And then that's where I discovered the research about it. That's why right now, sobrang proud ako na I'm a social media marketer. That's one of my favorite things as well when it comes to being an entrepreneur, being called as a digital marketer, professional digital marketer. So yeah, that's how I started.
Galing, galing. We're also being joined by Alec Cuenca. Alec, hello. Nakamute
Hi,
pa
everyone.
yata, Alec.
Hi, everyone.
Ayan.
Sorry I'm
Okay,
late,
Alec.
everyone.
No worries, no worries. It's a nice discussion here. No, we're talking about, of course, starting up in your own career. So go ahead, ikaw naman. Magkwento mo naman sa amin. How did you get started in your career?
I started when the pandemic happened. I was still studying back then. I was supposed to be taking my OJT, but I thought to myself, OJT online doesn't really make sense to me. So I said, okay, I might take this break for 3 months, and then once I did, I said maybe I should try exploring some things, and so I tried TikTok. At the beginning, TikTok was people were dancing and singing and entertaining.
Correct.
But then I said, okay, let me try something else. So I decided to make 1-minute motivational videos every single day. So I did that for 2 months. And then one of my videos became viral, and it snowballed from there, and it kept going. And now I'm doing everything full time. I'm doing content creation. Everything that I'm doing is based from that. So yeah.
Okay ba, ano ba, for people who are wondering, is it a lucrative business, yung content creation?
I cannot say that it's a lucrative business, but it is a flourishing industry.
Definitely.
It's still very young, pero there are definitely a lot of opportunities available right now to everyone who wants to try, or kahit pang side hustle lang, maganda yung content creation.
There we go. Pag-usapan naman natin ang mga mistakes, no, that you guys have made, and of course these are all part of the process, no, to bringing you where you are today. What are some of the mistakes that you have made, and what have you learned from them? Kia, start with you.
For me, For me, it was trusting the wrong people.
Uy,
Not being able
parang,
to put, yeah, oh, malalim talaga yung hugot ko pagdating sa trusting the wrong
kaya nga,
people.
pag-ibig ba to o
Oh,
business?
both, Char.
Both. Okay.
No, but because my business partner is also my husband.
Okay.
In the way that we created our business, it started as a partnership, and then in 2019 we became a corporation. So for me, when it comes to trusting the wrong people, ano talaga eh, everything has to be in black and white. Everything has to be in contract. Kasi kahit na friend mo pa yan, really like shitey things can happen. And we had this one particular thing that this one particular experience that I could not forget, that made me learn the lesson the hard way. I called it our 6-figure tuition fee because because it was a friend that we trusted, and we were gonna go on this venture together. Walang kontrata, walang anything. And I was pushing for a business, like a real business to be formed out of
Model.
that. Yeah, a real business model, really registering the business.
Mhm.
And marami ng red flags from the start from this person. And then parang 5-6 months in, she just suddenly like disappeared on us. Like walang nangyari. So and then when we started to confront her about it, parang nagaslight pa kami. So it was tough. And also apart from that, it's also not lowballing ourselves. Kasi nagiging uso yun sa creative economy na parang discount ka ng discount, you don't really believe in the value of what you're doing. So lalo na if we're talking with foreign clients, parang they can sense if you're not confident about your own value. So they look for that loophole, and then they start to come in really hard. So it's one of the reasons why we started, creating a coaching community for Filipino creatives, especially for starting Filipino creatives. So these things can be avoided.
Axel, what was one mistake that you went through? It taught you a hard lesson.
Okay. I think that would be caring too much. Something that I learned, caring too much about what other people thought, or what other people think. Kasi if you are the head of the business, and I struggled with this a lot, especially when I started building my personal brand as well. When you're the head of the business, you have a certain vision that a lot of people won't really understand. And it's hard if you're kunyari tanongin nila, what do you plan to do in the future? And then sasagot ko, syempre very simple lang, very vague, 'di ba? And they won't understand it, and they would quickly, sometimes judge your answer. And I would value usually kung ano yung reaction nila. And my job as a social media marketer, of course, is to show people that this is what you're going to achieve if you post in social media, if you create a lot of content. So just a bit of a context, I create a lot of content every day in my social media account. And meron kasing parang stigma na you can't post a lot, especially if you're a guy, yung mga ganyan. And at that time, I was really struggling kasi a lot of people were telling me, you post too much, why do you share a lot of things? But it's part of my job, so they don't really understand my vision. And at that time, sobrang it held me back. So I think that's a mistake na I really, listen to other people's thoughts and ideas, not knowing na, it would impact me and my business. So I think that's a mistake that I think I did before.
Ayun, caring about too much about what people think and say. No, hindi naman of course, syempre you're on your own path as well. Let's ask Tessa.
Okay.
One mistake or something that you had an experience na talagang taught you a lesson.
Actually, sa totoo lang, ito yung number one lesson talaga na talagang na-realize ko. Lahat ng empleyado ayaw sa HR. Kahit totoo yan. I mean, kahit naman sa nagbi-business, of course, lahat ng mga nagbi-business, meron kayong middleman. Or kaya talagang meron kayong nasa gitna ng management and Pero always lahat yan ayaw nila. Why? Kasi HR are implementing the policy. Of course, kaya nga 'di ba nagkakaroon tayo ng mga union. But ano ba yung mga mistake na I wish I could have avoided? Siguro yung kung anong sasabihin ng iba, same as Sir Axel, na kung anong sasabihin ng ibang tao, And you always have to choose your battle. Hindi lahat kaya mong patulan, and you really cannot please everybody. Especially sasabihin mo dun sa mga empleyado mo, for example, kailangan nilang, as an employee na kailangan nating magtanggal, especially ngayong pandemic, we have to let go some of the employees. Kahit ayaw mo, kailangan it to save the company. Kasi kung hindi kayo magtatanggal ng mga empleyado, pati yung company lulubog. So, mas mahirap yon i-save, di ba? Kaysa mag-offload ka na lang ng mga tao. So, yun yung pinakamahirap sa amin. And then, syempre, maraming magsasabi, HR, lagi naman pabor yan sa management, blah, blah, blah. So, as an HR, hindi mo lagi siyang, kumbaga, in a millennial kumbaga jargon is wag kang patola. Wag mo silang papatulan. Yun na lang yung pinaka And not in a negative way na lagi mong magba-backfire or lagi kang mag-isasabihin sa kanila. Pero mo lang, absorb mo lang at the same time, kung ano yung pag mga maliliit kasi na mga reklamo, okay lang yan. Pero kung makaka-apekto na sa ibang kumpanya, doon yung dapat magsasalita na ang mga HR. So yun yung pinaka Kasi yung before kasi talaga lahat pinapatulan ko po. Lahat na, kumbaga, in a way na pag sa mental health talaga is, ako na yung, parang shock absorber ka ng mga empleyado. So, na hindi mo na naiaangat sa management kasi sa'yo nag-stop na. Kasi nga,
kaya napupunta lahat.
Correct. Opo. Thank you.
Alec, anything you want to share? A mistake that taught you something?
One mistake that taught me a very good lesson is, siguro when I was starting, I didn't ask for help. Kasi when I was starting, of course, I didn't know that this was a business and there's a lot of structures into it, and marami ng mga tao na dumaan dito na alam na nila yung value, especially on that part, on how you position yourself. You set your pricing, your value, and I had a very hard time. And syempre ako as a young entrepreneur on this side, every opportunity that I saw, I took it. So hindi ko na malayan na a lot of companies, a lot of brands are actually lowballing me, giving me bad offers. And until I actually asked someone, hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? Doon ko lang nakita na, okay, so I'm doing it the wrong way. Now ngayon, parang nahihirapan na ako i-adjust yung mga values ko kasi nakasanayan ko na yung mga ganong klaseng pricing. So definitely asking help from someone who has already been through the process that you're trying to figure out is a great way to help you speed up your process or help you with your process overall.
There we go. Guys, thank you so much. Any final words para sa ating students who are joining us today? So let's start with you, Axel.
Okay. So for the students or anyone actually who's listening and wants to be an entrepreneur, I think my main siguro advice would be to become fearless in the pursuit and don't be afraid to be wrong. Like failure is part of the process, and it's how you handle the failures which will determine your fate as an entrepreneur. So I think that's my main advice to everyone. Thank you very much, and thank you for inviting me.
Ayun. Of course, Kia.
Two things for me. First of all, when you go into entrepreneurship, you always go into it playing the long game. So when it comes to setting your goals, you don't just set goals in terms of results, you set goals in terms of the process. So for example, you don't just set a goal for hitting 1 million in revenue in 12 months or hitting 6 figures in 90 days, because that's a result. You don't have any control over the result. But what you have control over is the process. We'll be so obsessed with the process that the results are just going to come for themselves. So when you're setting a goal, the process is in 30 days, I'm going to read 30 books. 30 books in 30 days. Wow. but yeah, so that's kind of the goal setting process that I do these days. It's more of, self reinvention and just getting to serve more people. And then second is stop obsessing over the algorithm. Study people, stay ahead of the trends, serve what people need. Because algorithm, basically, if I'm going to quote Derek Mark Maley, algorithm is simply human behavior in data form. So study people, stay ahead of the trends, and serve people. That's the real secret of entrepreneurship.
Ayun. Tessa.
Yeah, sa perspective, of course, talagang graduating ano ngayon yung mga maraming graduating students ngayon, and very ano sila, very eager talaga maghanap ng trabaho. So as a millennial HR manager, ito lang yung ma-advise ko sa inyo. Kahit nare-reject kayo, okay lang 'yan. Kumbaga, well, it's not okay really, but yung okay lang na kasi rejection is gawin mo siyang positive. Reassess yourself, ano bang mali ko, anong kulang ko. Okay? So magiging kasi pag na-reject ka, ibig sabihin hindi para sa'yo yung trabaho. Always remember that. And huwag ka rin mape-pressure kung nakikita mo yung mga ibang kaklase mo or ibang kaibigan mo na yung mga dream nila natupad na, tapos feeling mo ang bagal-bagal ng process mo. You have your own season, you have your own time, and you have your own pace. Okay lang yan. It doesn't mean na mabagal yung sa'yo, hindi pa dumadating, ay hindi na siya dadating. Okay, so yun lang. Yun lang, pagpatuloy mo lang, okay, padayon sa mga lahat ng estudyante na naghahanap ng trabaho. Thank you.
There we go. And Alec, to wrap it up.
Yeah, I'll people, the great people, they're usually very encouraging. They want to help you out. So don't be afraid to seek out mentors, coaches, and just people who you can learn from. And the other one is always check your heart, whatever may mga goals ka, pero always check your intentions with your goals kasi you don't want to have a successful business pero you're not really happy or you don't really love what you're doing. So you got to make sure na, yeah, thank you so much for having me.
All right, there you have it, guys. We hope you're able to pick up something from our special guest. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your wisdom with us, guys. All right. As we are almost done, meron pa tayong isang forum for this afternoon. Kamustahin muna natin ang aking mga co-hosts, Bernadette and Tony. Kamusta kayo dyan? Bennett. Sorry, Bennett and Tony.
Yes, Sam. So we're still
Ayan,
good, no?
Bennett.
Can you hear us?
Kamusta? Yes.
Yes, we're good. No, we're so focused and napaka-overwhelming. Ang dami naming learning today, no? So from leadership kanina up to mental health na topic.
Oo, and alam mo Sam, aside from the mental health topic, 'di ba, that we discussed, very focused kami especially in the last forum sa business and entrepreneurship kasi Bennett and I were both HR practitioners and sobrang nakarelate talaga kami dun kay millennial HR, no? We related so much to what she shared and I think our students would really appreciate yung mga shinare talaga ng mga speakers natin.
Correct, yan.
True. Ako mismo, ang dami ko nakapulot na additional information.
Totoo. So surely, no, dahil kausap mo sila parang kanina pa. And syempre, Sam, no, before we let you go, we would also like, our audiences would like to know where they can follow you, ano yung mga upcoming projects mo ngayon, baka pwede mo kaming masama dyan.
Totoo. Syempre, madami pa siyang mga tanong yung mga estudyante natin. Maybe you can share.
Well, of course, you can catch me on Instagram. It's _SamYG. At meron akong podcast, no? It's called Lecheng Pag-ibig to sa Spotify. I-type nyo lang yan. And of course, Boys Night Out on Magic 89.9, Mondays to Thursdays, 5 to 7 p.m. Thank you once again for having me. At sana next year, tuloy-tuloy lang tayo.
Yes, Sam. Thank you so much for gracing our Youth Summit, no, this 2022. And we're looking forward to have you again sa Youth Summit ng 2023. Yan.
Thanks, guys.
So,
Thanks,
Sam.
Tony.
Bye-bye.
Stay safe.
Bye.
Ayan, and we're done with our last session, our last forum.
Yes,
And we're transitioning to an open forum and a synthesis with one very, very exciting guest speaker.
Correct. I-reveal ko na ba, Sir Tony?
Oo, pwede mo nang sabihin. Sino nga ba yung speaker natin for our last forum?
No other than Mr. Christopher Tan lang naman. No? So, abang-abang tayo, guys. So, let's watch this few slide lang, no, before we transition to the very last Synthesis Forum. Alright, once again, good afternoon sa lahat ng ating audiences na nandito pa rin up to now. Naka 3 forums na tayo and one last and good to go.
Oo.
So, diba?
Actually, nakita mo ba yung comments natin kanina? We already reached 40,000 comments
O,
sa
diba?
ating live
Ang
stream.
daming nadagdag ng ready pababa.
Totoo. And madami na din tayong mga live comments, madami na nating shares and all. I think we already have our speaker for this afternoon. Hi, Sir Chris.
Welcome.
Welcome to Trimex.
Yeah, how's everyone?
We're good, Sir Chris, and we're excited to have you this afternoon. Pinakakaabangan ka na, no, ng mga audiences natin, no? Ikaw ang pang-finale. Alright, so guys, I think yung ating mga audiences, Sir Chris, would like to know you further. So, we will give you the honor and privilege, no, to introduce yourself na, and I'd like to also take note na meron na tayong 500 viewers pa up to now. Ayan, so patuloy lang natin invite kasi maganda tong topic natin, no? Napakagaling ng speaker natin. Go ahead, Sir Chris. Kindly give us a quick background about you para our audience get to know you further.
Sure. So my name is Chris Tan. I'm an entrepreneur. Actually, my whole life entrepreneur ako since I graduated from college. And so throughout the decades that I've been an entrepreneur, eventually I started doing life coaching. So that was something that I got into eventually in 2015. After I started in 2015, I'm certified as a life coach with Coach Masters Academy, which is an ICF accredited course and certification course. So from that point, ayun, naging life coach ako because I just wanted to help people. After that, I also got into acting. So I was on ABS-CBN for a number of shows, including there's one right now called Run to Me, I think. So you'll see me on that one. And recently, so I started vlogging mga siguro 2018, and what happened was, so steady lang siya until about maybe a few months ago before the elections, and then suddenly it just took off. And now I'm vlogging almost full time. So that's my latest stint right now.
Yes, actually, Sir Chris, yun din yung isa sa mga bagay na nakita namin na makaka-relate talaga yung mga students namin. Kasi while we were discussing, we were saying na parang Sir Chris is someone na alam talaga ng mga estudyante, nakikita nila sa TikTok, sa YouTube, sa Facebook, right? Just before the election. So, ayun. And actually, Sir Chris, I understand we sent you some questions, but for the last forum this afternoon, we actually talked about a lot of topics. We talked about leadership, we talked about mental health, right? And also sa business and entrepreneurship. So, we were thinking, siguro we can synthesize and talk about all of those topics earlier in this last section. I hope you don't mind.
Not at all. Those are topics that I love talking about, and I love sharing whatever I can share to help everyone. Sure.
Ayan, sige. So, Sir Chris, for our first forum na topic kanina, na-mention nga ni Sir Tony, it's about leadership, no? So, our question for you there is that, ano yung definition ng leadership sa'yo at paano na siya na-form or nag-transform?
Right. Okay. So leadership for me, ang definition, it's somebody first and foremost that can inspire people. And so when I say inspire, inspire with a vision. So ang pinaka-importante kasi magawa ng isang leader, is ma-inspire mga tao by being able to communicate a very clear vision na nasa mind niya. So kasi maraming mga leaders, may vision sila kung ano gusto nila mangyari. Pero ang pinakamahirap gawin is to be able to communicate that clearly enough na yung mga kasama mo, yung team mo, will be able to share that vision with you and actually own the vision. And if you can do that and let somebody own your vision and share the vision, that it's a shared vision, then you're able to inspire people. And that's the way I look at leadership. So, you want me to continue with, how I formed that?
Yes.
Okay. So I formed that leadership idea growing up kasi I read a lot of books, and I think isa recommend ko sa mga viewers nyo, is magbasa kayo ng mga autobiographies from great entrepreneurs, political leaders, and influential people, because sa autobiography makikita mo yung kwento ng buhay nila at paano sila from growing up as a kid, high school, college, and then becoming the leader that they are, ano yung mga dinaanan nila. And you're gonna see a lot of different leadership styles. Doon ko na form yung sarili kong leadership style based on all the different leadership styles na nakita ko, nabasa ko, and natutunan ko over the years.
All
I
right.
think I just wanted to interject on that, Sir Chris, no, kasi tama 'yon. Something also that I also share with my students and my colleagues is to actually read autobiographies, kasi nga may kita mo doon yung mga points where these people decided on something, their dilemmas, how they decided on things, right?
Yung mga naging struggle, yung mga challenges before they become successful.
Yeah.
And maganda yung na-share talaga ni Sir Chris, no? Kasi parang most of us, when we read book, we read directly sa content. We don't really, na-skip na nga natin yung biography ng mismong writer
Totoo.
or author, di ba? Ayan, so it's a good note, no, for everyone. So aside from that, Sir Chris, since na-mention mo na kung ano yung leadership para sa'yo, we would also like to ask, how are you as a leader? Ano yung leadership style mo?
So, my leadership style, actually, if you ever get to talk to the people that have worked with me over the last 2 decades, medyo strict ako actually as a leader eh. I'm an no BS type of a leader ako. If you do something well, I will give you credit. But if you do something that's not good, I will tell you directly what the problem is. But not just tell you directly what the problem is, I will make you realize the problem and then help you correct the problem. So I'm a person that likes accountability, and ako yung tipong of course I always believe in leadership by example. So that means when I make a decision and it fails, I will acknowledge my failures and I will tell people that I made a mistake, and I'll be the first one to stand up in front of everyone to admit that I made the wrong decision and correct the decision. And I expect that from everyone. So I'm not the type of leader na ma-sugary sa words. Very straightforward talaga ako. And I understand that, talking to my former employees, they would always tell me na apparently nakakatakot ako as a leader. Kasi yun na nga, hindi ako nag-BBS talaga when I lead. So yeah, that's my leadership style. And I do say this. For all my employees, when I hire people, I remember the first time when I interview people, I will always tell them that I'm the type of leader that will help you become your best. I will help you reach your full potential. So ang goal ko and my role in your life is to help you be the best version of yourself from the day you start to the day you end. And I will only allow you to resign if I believe and you believe that I'm no longer part of your personal growth. So naniniwala kasi ako na for everybody that works with me, na I have to be a part of your growth. And if hindi na kita kayang turuan, and wala ka nang matututunan from me to make you a better person, it's time to resign. So that's how I am. Oh, I can't hear you. I don't know what happened. Is it my mic or yours?
How about this, Sir Chris? Ayan.
There, I
I'm
can
sorry.
hear you.
Very well said, and I totally agree, no, doon sa leadership style mo. Although, 'di ba, parang depende kasi yan sa mga employees. Merong sa iba mag-work yung mahigpit ka, or sa iba naman gusto nila relax style lang. Pero syempre for you, that's your style, and I totally agree kasi most of the time pag sobrang naging lax ka with your employees, the tendency is for them to abuse, 'di ba? So ayun yung
Right.
sinabi mo na doon sila nahahasa, 'di ba?
I can't hear you again. Your mic suddenly went off. I don't know. Baka yung battery or the on-off button.
Oo nga, sir, nalulobat. Sorry about that.
Ayan.
So, based on the adage, 'di ba, diamonds are not perfected without friction. So, similar to people, na tayo dadaan ka talaga sa mga challenges and struggles bago talaga lumabas yung the best sa'yo. Yan. And I
Yeah.
think meron namang concern si Sir Tony doon sa aming topic for Forum 2.
Actually,
Okay.
before that, Sir Chris, I wanted to pick up on what you said kanina. Kasi kanina you mentioned about hiring people, right? And I think most of our students na mga graduating ngayon are aspiring employees also, di ba? They
Mm.
wanted to get their first job agad after college and also. I just wanted to know naman, sir, in your case, ano yung mga qualities na hinahanap mo whenever you're working with people or hiring employees?
So one of the key elements I look for in hiring people, is authenticity, and somebody who's willing to speak their mind honestly. Kasi I understand karamihan ng mga estudyante kasi syempre first time lang mag-i-interview, kabado. So tingin nila may
Okay guys, nagkaroon lang ng technical difficulty sa ating FB Live. So wait lang natin ng konti.
nagsasalita about an opinion that you don't understand because it's a borrowed belief, is to form your own opinion. How do you form your own opinion? Okay, you really need to get off social media from time to time. So ako, honestly, I'm not much of a consumer of social media. I only consume social media intentionally when I need to check on things, current information, current events, and then I'll check and then I'll get off it. If you ever hang out with me and we're sitting having coffee, you'll notice hindi ko tinitingnan phone ko. I'm 1 hour, 2 hours, hindi ako nakatingin sa phone ko. I'm not always scrolling, going through Facebook or Instagram. Bihira-bihira. Yun ang important sa mga kabataan ngayon. You need to be able to have the time to be introspective, to form your own opinion. And you cannot do that if you're always on social media. So pwede, you see a topic you are interested in, then get off social media and do your own research. Form your own thoughts. So that way, you will be able to talk and defend and be able to discuss your thoughts logically kasi naintindihan mo. So yun yung paraan nun. Okay, number 1. Number 2, huwag mo nang pansinin yung mga bashers. Yun. Kasi sa totoo lang, ito lang yung masabi ko about bashers. Okay, so if you're a basher, I already said this, hindi mo lang alam yung sinasabi mo, you're reactive eh. So kaya hindi ako galit sa mga bashers. Pero kung ikaw ang isang taong nababash, ito na lang isipin mo. You should not have a need to control what other people think of you. That's their opinion. Hindi mo opinion, that's their opinion eh. So you shouldn't want to even care kung ano ba yung opinion nila sa'yo. Yan yung narrative or movie sa mind nila. Eh, hindi naman ikaw yung director ng utak nila, di ba? You already have enough problems on your own, trying to come up with your own thoughts. Bakit ka pa nag-aabala na ini-explain sa mga tao na hindi naman ako ganyan, hindi naman yan ang ibig ko sabihin. You shouldn't even have that need to do that. If you can let go of that need to control other people's opinion of you, the more peaceful and less stressed you are in life.
Oo. And sir, I think yung social media nga naman, lalo na ngayong pandemic talaga, ay something that we really have to study. And madami pa tayong hindi alam sa social media, especially now that it's being used in different purposes. I think in the coming years and months, mas magiging critical yung pag-uusap natin regarding this topic. But for now, I'd like to transition naman to the last forum. I think Miss Bernadette has questions.
Yes. Ayan, can you hear me, Sir Chris?
Yes, I can.
Ayan, okay. So, grabe yung mga sinasabi mo, sir. Sobrang nakaka-relate kami lahat. Ang dami namin gustong i-feed. So, probably we'll have a different session pa, no? A separate session na further topic pa. But for now, since we have limited time, gusto ka rin naming marinig about business naman. So, similar to what happened to Nokia, sir, di ba? Parang dahil sa sobrang bilis ng transition, hindi sila nakasabay, nawala sila sa circulation. Ano naman yung mabibigay mong advice sa mga audiences natin ngayon na nandito na gustong mag-business? How do they stop or how do they stay on top of the industry trends?
Right. Okay. So the most important thing is being very fluid, knowing how to go with the flow and always evolving. Ang mahirap kasi right now, nakikita ko sa kadalasan, is pag may ginagawa kang isang bagay na is working, you tend to stick with it, and that's good. But you always have to look at what's going on, and the best indicator sometimes of what the new trend is to look outside of the Philippines. Kasi kadalasan yung mga trends yun, nakikita mo na yan in the United States, in Europe, in other Asian countries. And if you're always up to step with what's going on, you're going to be able to keep up with the evolution of technology. And as we see, technology does evolve. So maybe I'll share with you like a personal experience of mine in business. When I had a production company for 14 years. And when I started, we were producing shows for television. That time it was ABC5 before naging TV5. And then we would produce shows for GMA, for Studio 23, for MTV. And I remember that time, nakikita ko na yung flow ng internet. Sabi ko, interesting tong internet na to. So ginawa ko, while I was producing the shows on television, immediately I started to upload my shows on the internet. That time, wala pa masyadong video. Wala pa ngang YouTube noong time na yun eh. So ina-upload ko na, and I was starting to create a website in 2009 called flippish.com. It was the first online Pinoy video channel. And that time, wala pang live streaming, wala pang mga videos masyado, YouTube was just starting, and we were able to launch that. And I said, television is going to die. Sinabi ko na yun. Sinabi ko din na cable is going to die. Wala nang magki-cable TV. Everyone's gonna be watching on the internet. And sure enough, look at where we are now in 2022. I don't know if you guys still have cable at home. Ako kasi wala na, matagal na eh. Kinancel ko na yung, wala na. Diba? So ngayon wala nang nanonood ng TV eh. Ngayon lahat na tayo nanonood online on our smart TVs, diba? And that's Netflix, YouTube, and online channels. So that's really where the future is. And that's what you have to do is you always have to see that technology will change. There will be new things. Don't ever be stuck with whatever you think you're good at. Always learn and keep learning. We are always students. Even at this age, I am always a student. I never know it all.
Wow, talagang ang dami talagang sharing nito ni Sir Chris. So, ang daming matututunan. Isang question sa iyo, Sir. Talagang parang yung paragraphs yung answer ni Sir. Ayan, so I totally agree, no? We keep on evolving talaga. Kailangan continuous. Kaya nandun yung stress, Sir Chris, diba? Kasi it never stops. Parang tuloy-tuloy, kakabago lang. Oops, R&D na naman, or research and development, and then continuous. Once you just invented something, kailangan meron ka na namang panibagong invention. Ayan, so what would you advise naman, Sir Chris, sa mga R&D, no? Yung para ma-lesser yung stress nila, no? With the continuous learning, continuous research and development to lesser their stress.
Well, okay. So one way to lessen the stress when you talk about research and development is be creative and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Kasi pag takot na sobra magkamali, ini-edit mo na yung sarili mo bago mo malalabas yung idea. So, yun yung tinuturo ko sa mga dati sa mga teammates ko, sa mga staff ko, is when we have a brainstorming meeting, no holds barred, no judgment, open space. Kahit na gaano ka tingin mong stupid yung idea na yun, it's not stupid, throw it out there. And malay mo, it's that one idea that's so crazy that it could actually work. Kaya yun ang do not ever just limit yourself and start editing your thoughts. Throw it out there, however crazy it is. Yep. Yes.
Mo narating yung estado mo ngayon, Sir?
Wow, I actually hard choices. Wow. Okay, choices are always hard dahil because of the possible consequences of your decisions. So, I think instead of hard choices, maybe I'll talk about the hard not choices the bad choices I made. I'll talk about the bad choices I made. So, I remember when I had a production company for 14 years. Yung biglang one day, nag-decide ako na ayoko na. And bakit ayoko na? Kasi nawalan ako ng passion. And nung nawala passion ko, I stopped it, and then suddenly, bumagsak yung kumpanya ko. Okay? And I'm not ashamed to say that. And when my company collapsed, I didn't know what to do. And I was like, wow, like 14 years I built this company and it died. And I was lost. And being lost, the beauty of that was it actually opens me up to everything and anything. So ang ginawa ko is I just accepted and went with the flow, and I tried everything and anything. I actually went back to school that time, an online course, and I even became a I studied to become a computer programmer. I studied a new language. So, yun yung mga dinaanan ko sa buhay ko na dami akong na-try na different things. And then eventually, I landed into cryptocurrency. And cryptocurrency is my investments. That's where I invest a lot of my money and how I earn. And sabi ko, ano kaya pwede kong gawin? So, I love talking like I'm doing right now and sharing information. So, I opened up a vlog in 2018. So, this is not something that's overnight. I've been doing this since 2018. Ang difference lang kasi, nag-i-English ako nung time na yon. So nagbibigay ako ng mga advice, all in English. One day, sabi nung kaibigan ko sa akin, 2 months ago, Chris, alam mo, ang ganda nung sinasabi mo. Pwede mo gawin in Tagalog. Sabi ko, mahina Tagalog ko eh. Sabi niya, well, try mo lang. Galingan mo sa Tagalog. So I tried it. And then I spoke Tagalog and boom, suddenly, my message was heard. And doon ako nagulat. And I was like, wow. So, I decided, sige, let's focus on this. Let's make this work. People hear the message. People are learning. People are becoming critical thinkers. That's what impressed me. When I see, after I talk about a topic, I see it being spread on social media. Like for example, nabanggit ko yung truth bombs. Suddenly, everyone's saying the word truth bomb, or nabanggit ko yung word na gaslighting. Biglang ngayon nakikita ko ginagamit na yung word na gaslighting. Hindi lang ng isang kampo, dalawang kampo ginagamit, nagbabanatan sila ng mga words. So, yung mga ganon, making those decisions to move to where it's flowing and just keeping with it. So, my tip for this is that what I learned in that when I lost my business, when I lost my passion, is that passion, as good as it is not the best motivator. The best motivator is actually discipline. Okay? Because pag motivation hinahanap mo, kaya nga I actually don't like the category I'm in Facebook, nakalagay motivational speaker eh. Wala lang akong mapick na ibang choice eh. Gusto ko talaga inspirational speaker or speaker na lang, pero nakalagay motivation. I don't like it because motivation I find is very weak. Kasi motivation means you're only going to do something when you feel good, when you're motivated. You're not always motivated. There are going to be days when you feel really crappy. Yung parang, I don't want to work. I don't want to go to work. I don't want to do anything. That's where discipline comes in. Discipline is being able to do things even if you don't feel like doing it. And that is the real secret to success. Being able to show up, whether you want to or not, you're having a bad day, nag-break kayo ng boyfriend mo or girlfriend mo or asawa mo, nag-away kayo, and you still show up and get what you need to do, get it done. That's more important than being motivated.
Yan, very well said, Sir Chris, no? So, dun sa last na message mo, na-cover na yung last question mo
Yeah.
from your experience. Yan. So, thank you for your wisdom, Sir Chris.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Sir Chris. Actually, we have very limited. Siguro our students can follow you on social media or they can reach out to you in your social media channels. Maybe you can tell us kung saan ka namin makikita.
So, you guys can follow me. So, on Instagram and Twitter, it is I am Christan. So, letter I, letter M, Chris Tan. Okay? So, a lot of people mistake my name as Christian. It's not Christian. It's Chris Tan. Okay? So, kung mahanap mo yun, I am Christan, you can follow me on Instagram. Instagram is where I post a lot of my personal stuff. And then on Twitter is where I post a lot of my thoughts, personal development, politics, crypto. I talk a lot on Twitter. That's where I really post a lot of things. On YouTube is the long format. Kung gusto mo talagang marinig yung mga malalalim na iniisip ko, doon ko pinopost yan talaga sa Twitter. And sa TikTok, pinopost ko rin yan dahil napansin mo, ang daming tao sa TikTok ngayon. And I really want to be able to reach an audience. So on TikTok, it's also I am Christan. And on YouTube, it's youtube.com, Christan is here. Or you can type Bitcoin Buddy. Mahanap niyo ako.
Ayan, we will surely follow you, Sir Chris, no? And our president, Sir Chris, would like to extend her greetings, just saying hi to you, sir. Now, Ma'am Roca. Ayan.
Oh, hi. Yeah, please tell her I said hi. Thank you.
Ayan. So, thank you so much for your time for gracing our Trimex Summit. So, we'll have our next summit. Sana you'll be there then, Sir Chris. And hope you will follow Trimex then, ha? Trimex Colleges.
All right. Thank you so much, Sir Chris. We'll see you soon.
See you soon.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Stay safe.
Ayan na nga, Ma'am Bennett. Tapos na ang ating Youth Summit 2022.
Yes, finally, Sir Tony, diba? After 4 forums, ang daming learning, overwhelming, bumaba.
Totoo.
Load of information, diba, Sir Tony? Very productive day. And syempre, I'd like to give my takeaway. Ang dami. No, pero yung
Totoo.
pinaka nag-sync sa akin kasi yung unang-una pa lang eh. No, Facebook algorithm. Oh my gosh. So, pero sabi ni Miss Tessa, or may isa tayong speaker dun sa second forum na sabi niya, wag daw din masyado sa algorithm, di ba? It's more on the people din. Ayan.
Totoo. Sa akin naman, yung key takeaway ko siguro is more on dun sa business and sa HR side, yung nabanggit kanina, kung ano ba talaga yung hinahanap ng mga employers sa mga potential employees nila. So, they mentioned earlier, initiative, respect, and patience. So, siguro guys, ako din, personally, yun yung mga bagay na gusto kong ma-impart sana sa mga students natin.
Yes, para
Mhm.
maging successful. That's why, TriMex is really exerting effort sa lahat ng estudyante para we continuously learn, we continuously grow, mag-improve tayo ng mag-improve, no? And we would like to thank all our sponsors for without them, this event will not be possible. Hindi na natin
Totoo.
iisa-isahin, no? Kasi na-mention na sila kanina nila Sir Cora and Sir Jevic.
Pero siguro we can mention our partner
Partner
schools.
schools, yes.
So ayan, thank you so much. Binyan Integrated National High School.
Angelo L. Loyola Senior High School.
Also Sinalhan Senior High School.
Labas Senior High School.
South Forbes City College.
Aplaya National High School.
To Santo Domingo Integrated High School.
Santa Rosa Educational Institution. And Pamantasan ng Kabuyao. And syempre, our senior high school. Maraming salamat sa continuous support and being consistent, especially our WEP and TriMex College students, our faculty, the technical team, everyone, the organizers, the management, and everyone na hindi ko na na-mention. Kilala nyo na ang mga sarili nyo. So, I'm promoting the enrollment, guys, sa TriMex Colleges. It's still ongoing.
True. You can always apply and you can always inquire sa Facebook page ng TriMex Colleges. And guys, if you want to follow TriMex Colleges, feel free to follow our Facebook page. May kita niyo doon lahat ng news about TriMex Colleges and our ongoing enrollment
Yeah,
program.
so thank you everyone. We will see you again in our Youth Business Summit 2023 because TriMex Learning Experience
Worth it! Bye guys!
This is psychology, and we are psychologists, prioritizing the people and the mind we traverse.